So I waited till all the smoke cleared so we could take a look at this one with a fresh set of eyes. And we're going to see what this one really was. This is Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega, ladies and gentlemen, at Forbidden Door. Starting off with a beautiful elbow collar tie-up. And we go into wrist lock. Will Ospreay leads. We go into transition. Kenny Omega takes control of the wrist. Check this out right here. Good selling so far. Everything is solid. Roll through on that. Beautiful leg kick over transition to that side headlock with wonderful posture there. Look at this. Steps in on the knee. Textbook. Takes control of the head and repositions, take control of the wrist. Elbows down the arm, wrenches again. Man, every great match, ladies and gentlemen, is built on a solid foundation, and this one is no different. Look at this right here. Goes right into a headlock on the mat. Beautiful posture. Good struggle here. Looks like competition. Very nicely done. Referee is proactive. All the elements. The audience was really active during this one. If you watch the actual match, look at this. Going for a top wrist lock transition. Back in the side headlock. Beautifully done. Going for the knuckle lock. Forces it. Didn't look too assisted. I like that. Goes right into it. Wrenches over the shoulder. Beautiful hair grab. Break immediately for the referee. Gets involved. Nice wrench on the arm there. Takes back to hammerlock position. Look at this. Kenny Omega reaching back to grab the hair again. Referee watching carefully, see if it's a skull grab or hair grab. Comes back around the side headlock, takedown, scissors the head, kick out. Beautiful. Back in the side headlock position, scissors again. Kenny Omega. This is beautiful workmanship here in this ring. Look at this right here. Trying to cork up out of this scissor right here, and then gets almost snap driven on his head. And we're going to jump ahead here as we go to the turnbuckle here. Check this out. Oof. You guys need to listen to the chops in this match. Go back and watch this match and just listen to the contact. Contact was immaculate in this matchup. You want perfection in terms of striking and working? You definitely got it here. Will follows up with another vicious chop here. Again, great selling. Runs the corner, is cut off with the boots, comes back, and he sets up for the one-wing angel, punch counter to the head, Ospreay back elbow to Omega, springboard to the cutter, counter, waist lock, tries to go for the dragon suplex, backflip counter. Look at this right here, beautiful arm drag takeover by Ospreay, leg scissor, swinging roundhouse dodge by Omega, beautiful. Mobile cam comes in for beautiful tight shots here. Remember, guys, the team sport that is wrestling does involve the production crew, part of how the storytelling is done, thumb to the eye. Will Ospreay follows up with a beautiful barrage of kicks to the midsection, good over forearms right there. Look at this right here, going to send Omega to the opposite turnbuckle. And so far, everything here has just been incredible. Another vicious chop. And these knee strikes. It's times like this where I look at the aesthetic during the strike exchanges and just make sure that what I'm seeing is actually palpable. I can't say that the arena design was something I really liked. Aesthetically, the colors didn't work for me, and it seemed to lack a real theme. Look at this right here. Beautiful spring up counter into a Hurricane Rana right there by Kenny Omega. Look at this right here. Gonna get Ospreay up onto the shoulders. We're in Death Valley position right now. Gonna roll forward. Here we go. Check this out right here. Beautiful moonsault right there by Kenny Omega. It's a 2 count right there. Good shots there by the camera crew. Check this out. We're going to go into some of these highlights. That was vicious. And I remember a lot of this was just incredible. Like, these guys gave everything they had. I mean, I don't need to go detail by detail. That was just a vicious forearm to the back. All these chops were absolutely vicious. The sheer drop suplex right there. Everything from basic suplexes to chops to the throat to abdominal stretches. I mean, they gave us a wrestling clinic. Headbutt to the midsection, sliding shin kick to the shin. Check this out, jumping bulldog. Kenny Omega with a vicious kick to the midsection, I might add. Look at this right here. Beautiful follow-ups, just incredible contact. And I know this statement may be met with a lot of pushback, but I really felt like this match was superior to their match at Wrestle Kingdom, at least from a traditional wrestling standpoint. Look at this beautiful shooting star press. Like, it had the innovation. I mean, they gave you today's style with all the spots and incredible, Japanese flair, but they kept a solid psychology to this, and they kept it real. I mean, these headshots were vicious. I mean, you couldn't, this was not over the top for me. Like, I mean, and I'm sorry, but the Wrestle Kingdom match for me, as spectacular and superior as it was in terms of spot execution, this match to me was a better storytelling match. They really put their hearts into the work of this, and whenever you see contact being made like that, you know, in working strikes, look at that knee. I mean, yes, there was thigh tapping, but it wasn't overdone. And the use of the flag, everything, the choking, everything was done with vicious ferocity. Like, look at this. One of the few times I really thought a hanging was done well on the ropes. Everything, like the strikes to the aluminum staircase. I mean, the sound that the audience probably heard during this was vicious. I mean, you just couldn't complain. Even when open-handed stuff like this happens, it's explainable because of the fatigue and the point at the match we're in. You can have just desperate, flailing open hands because of the fatigue and all the gripping that's being done. Beautiful release German suplex there. Look at this. They exchanged them, and they are just absolutely fantastic. This is selling at its best. This is commitment. Beautiful, vicious knee strike. Running Spanish fly. And for the life of me, I just do not understand what Jim Cornette and Brian Last watched. Like, to have such an opinion of this match, I would have thought he'd have loved it. This is just perfection. Look at it. It's the ultimate battle. This is worlds ahead of the competition. Look at that counter. Swing and a miss. Dragon suplex release into a snap. Look at that snap dragon suplex release. Watch this. He back elbows, comes back, is countered with a knee strike to the back. Then a reverse Hurricane Rana Venom Salt. Look at that pulley pile driver. They pulled out everything. Everything was here, man. Look at that. Oof. Corkscrew to the outside, guys. Look at that. Knee strike to the back. And for those of you longtime wrestling fans trying to get acquainted with this style, I mean, this is what they mean by fight forever. All right, let's talk about how we got to this finish. Beautiful setup powerbomb by Ospreay. Flying cutter hit perfectly. Reverse tombstone right there by Omega, and some of the most vicious knee strikes I've ever seen in wrestling. And at this point, this is where Don Callis got involved and got a weapon to Ospreay. I thought this was fine. I know that Cornette had an issue with it, but I thought that, you know, maybe they could have had extra security come out. And this was the only egregious thing done in the match. I just think it was a camera angle thing, but the thigh tap was too visible there. And here it is, the infamous 1 count off the One Wing Angel by Ospreay. And it makes sense. I think a lot of people felt like that's what costed Omega the match because of all he had to put in to get that at this point in the match. And I agree. I think that's good storytelling. Beautiful sheer drop brainbuster to this catch right into the German suplex bridge. And shouts out to Wrestling Colin, a true educator on this app, because here comes the infamous Tiger Driver 91 right there. Did I think it should have been the finish? No. Did I want a rope break? Yes. But still, this was a great finish. This was definitely a rare 7 copper stars for me. It came just short of a Dragon medal. I attribute that to the thigh tap and the shoulder up on the Tiger Driver 91 instead of a rope break. Even though Kenny's shoulder up was absolutely perfectly done on that. There was also a micro deduction on the Don Callis interference spot. He took a little too long to get that thing out of his pocket. However, again, it was just an incredible match. And, you know, again, a Dragon medal, the match has to be sheer perfection. And this was damn close, so don't come after me. And if you want to keep up with the aftermath as well as the latest in underground and backyard wrestling, tune in to Sportswire Radio's broadcast live on YouTube featuring the Reverend Tom Brice along with Taff Taylor. And check out the Nemesis Sessions as well, where you can catch all the exclusive interviews with all the wrestlers featured on the Copper Star Reviews. #AllWrestlingMatters.